Hey everybody, welcome back to the Hard Park 703 channel. So I'm about to drop the car off, and tomorrow I'm getting 2 parts installed, but I'm gonna split this video up, so then this one's gonna focus on the wing that I'm getting installed. I'll talk all about it tomorrow once I get there and stuff like that, but I had to create an intro for this portion because, you know, I wanted to split it up. So yeah, I'll pick this up as soon as I park the car at GTP. It is November 2nd. I'm on my way to GTP's now. I finally got the wing. That's the massive thing right here. Underneath is the chassis mounting hardware from GM. So I'm gonna drop all this stuff off. I'm gonna check it out there, the shop. I didn't have a chance to check it out here at home and stuff. I barely had a chance to sign. I was meeting to meeting emergencies and everything at work. So yeah, I hope everything's okay. It looks intact and everything, and nothing's rattling or anything, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up and stuff. I'll pick this video up as soon as I get to GTP. Just put everything where it has to go and everything. There's a little bit of like a gash right here in the box, so I just want to open it up real quick, verify, make sure everything's good. Yeah, so nothing's damaged. I mean, this whole thing, I checked it out. I'm not gonna unwrap it right now because I'm pressed for time, but I mean, it's one solid piece, no damage, nothing even scarring on any of this stuff or whatever. It was just a little bit of a, I guess, you know, a gash from a box or something like that. But all this stuff seems intact. Everything's taped together. So I'm gonna go ahead and assume the wing, the smaller trunk lid spoiler piece, and then the winglets, and then maybe more mounting hardware or whatever, and then along with the box right over there. All right, so I'm gonna put this back in the box. We are good to go. This is awesome. Look at all the boxes of the exhaust. Okay, so 48 hours. Oh my gosh, can't wait. All right, so while we were at it, I figured why not just open the other smaller box, make sure everything's, you know, in here and everything. So yeah, this is this is straight up what I was thinking. Obviously, this is the these are the supports and everything for the chassis mount. So okay, everything's good, everything's solid. Obviously this box wasn't damaged or anything like that, so okay, we've got everything we need. Adding an oil change on Friday, because since I'm gonna get tuned next Wednesday, obviously the car is gonna be under a lot of stress, you know, a lot of under load, and so for that matter, they suggest an oil change because it was coming up to the time that I needed an oil change. I'm like driving in circles right now, but so yeah, it's like about, like, I think it's been like 5,000 miles since like my last oil change, and my last oil change was over a year ago because I barely drive the vehicle. Good morning, everybody. All right, so just got here to GTP. It is install day. Super excited. Finally, months in the making. Took the day off from work. Somehow I still found myself working this morning. You know, it's hard to unplug. But all right, so I'm not gonna waste any time. Let's get started. This is gonna be awesome. I just found something really cool here. So check this thing out. Looks like it's another one of Auto by Design's vehicles. A lot of them come through here. Check this out though. So I assume this thing's gonna be for sale soon. Look at that. Oh man, that looks so nice. Wow. Oh, that is so nice. Oh, this car's, I would love this as my daily. I have no idea what they go for though. Probably a pretty penny. So here we got the new wing. This is the new deck lid spoiler that will be replacing this one right here, right? So this will pop off, and then this will go on. That's beautifully painted, by the way. That is awesome. And then what do we got? We got, I guess these are the side little winglets to the wing. And then I think new third brake light, I guess. Then these are the uprights. That's the chassis mount right there. And then this bad boy right there is the wing. Look at that thing. Wow. Look at that thing. That is awesome. Oh, that looks awesome. Can't wait for that to go on. Yeah. That's gonna go on. All right, so the issue is that there's no instructions that came with the mounting hardware, so they're having difficulty trying to figure out how to mount this. The only videos that exist all over the internet are Extreme Online Store's mounting kit, and that's completely different than the GM hardware that's provided So we're trying to resolve that situation right now, and then I'll pick this up as soon as we get to the next phase.
About where these go, because see, these mount right here.
Right.
Right. So then when you put this here, it's kind of.
It's in the way. It's kind of in the way. You're saying.
So I'm gonna remount those. That's about what's right there.
Got it. Yeah. Okay.
See, it's getting there. I'm just kind of more or less trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out without instructions, which you would think, of all things, GM would have posted instructions. Like, I would have been money that it was in the box. So I didn't even think about it, because it's all GM factory hardware. And every single aftermarket company that makes their own wing and stuff for the C7 Corvettes, they got their own mounting bracket and stuff, all come with the instruction and stuff. And I can't believe I've Googled for over an hour, like PDFs from GM and everything, maybe some install videos, and nothing. So luckily they're starting to figure it out. There's like some antennas though back there that the brackets will, they're going to replace that hole. So I don't know what they're going to do with the antennas, but I mean, it's just kind of, it's frustrating. I understand how frustrated they are, considering they probably assumed like this was going to be like just plug and play, right? Which is what I would have assumed. And so now it's turning into like a big custom job. Oh, okay. The bolts that came with it didn't necessarily work out too well for the bottom, I guess. You're saying right here?
Yeah, they just took it far.
Oh, okay. All right.
And they're like this, so they, it's not all thread, so it makes it to here. So like even if I bolted down, it wouldn't tighten.
Right.
I had
Okay.
to drill through the whole frame.
Yeah. Okay. But all right. But you're figuring out little by little, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Awesome, dude.
They had these tabs. See, this was a solid piece.
Okay.
So I had to cut the weld here and cut it down, and then cut that whole piece off because it's you have to mount this flush with that.
Right, of course.
And that's all in the weld.
Okay.
So I just went ahead and cut those off.
Okay. This thing is nice and solid. Otherwise, awesome. Okay, and then what about?
Now the only other problem is like, so these that's where the antennas mount.
Right.
So the antennas, I don't know where they're gonna go. That's one of the things I'm trying to kind of figure out, because see, they're supposed to mount right here,
Right.
and they're supposed to set up in this channel up in here. So I'm gonna try to probably extend the wiring like this one. I'm gonna put probably just right here in the middle.
Okay.
And then probably do the other one like that too.
Gotcha.
Because it was way out here.
Right.
Bolted to that bracket.
Okay.
So I just need to figure
Okay.
out where to put them.
Awesome. All right, man. I'll let you get to it.
The antennas for your radio.
Oh, they're the radio antennas, which I haven't even used the radio ones.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I'm always just CarPlay. Just,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
All right. Awesome.
Yeah, no,
man.
it seems like it's coming together.
Okay.
Figure out where these antennas.
Right. So, it turns out that all the bolts that were supplied with the GM hardware were too long by this much. So, funny how GM screwed up there. So, we had to find bolts that worked, and that's all everything. So, it works well. The only part is we're right here trying to figure out where we're going to put the antennas. And we got to cut through the bumper, obviously, to have this go through. And we'll take it from there. GM hardware that was supplied, it didn't work, which is troubling. And shocking at the same time. I mean, you would think it would just work, but I guess not. Maybe that's because it's going on a Z06 as opposed to the ZR1. Maybe the ZR1 is slightly different in the back, so it could be that. But I'm really glad at least Henry was able to source bolts that were the correct length. All right, so it looks like we're at the point where we're going to cut through the top of the bumper. So this is a plate, goes underneath, and then you've got the top portion. Got the top portion that it'll cut through that, and then we'll mount that over it, so then that way it prevents water from getting in. But so we got to figure out how to cut the holes. So I think Henry's on the phone. I'm trying to figure out how to do that. See, that's the problem when there's like no instructions, because obviously there's no template, so it's difficult to know exactly where you're going to cut the holes and stuff. You could try to line up the bumper back there, but you want to do it right the first time. So for that matter, I think Henry reached out to I don't know what company he reached out to. I mean, I would assume C7 Carbon, but he could have reached out to anyone else. I mean, like to try to figure out how did you guys cut, or how did you guys measure, like where to cut. you know, at the top of the bumper. So, I mean, poor guy, man. I give him such a tough job, you know, and I don't want to keep him here late, obviously, you know, but daylight's disappearing quickly, so.
I have to be work because that's what they do.
Okay.
That, so like, I was like, I got this part number and everything. I was like, I got a Z06.
Yeah.
And they're like, I was like, this dovetail thing that the brackets mount through for the, you know, the wing supports and everything. I was like, dude, it doesn't fit at all. None of the holes line up, nothing at all.
Okay.
Like, yeah, it was like, it's a GM part number solely for a ZR1. I was like, you have to make it work. So, trying to make it work.
They didn't say that over.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe that got lost in translation when we were talking on the phone.
I never got any paperwork or anything. They were like, yeah, it should be in the boxes. I was like, checked everywhere. But,
Man, okay, so.
and this is from your old spoiler.
Right, of course.
See these marks?
Yeah, of course, because the other one comes, it's bigger than this, obviously,
So
like
I
that.
need
That's
to get all this tape off,
yeah.
and I'm going to try to get this paint cleaned up as good as possible because it doesn't overlay the top of the
right, but I mean, at the same time, dude, I mean, I'm gonna wash the car tomorrow too.
Yeah, so basically what I'm doing is wallering the hole out.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty lined up.
Right.
It's fairly where it's going to sit. I just need to measure the backs to make sure they're in the exact spot. But end to end, they fit pretty good.
Okay. And then what they supplied the a different type of third brake light, huh?
But like I got the crack there and the crack there centered pretty good.
Yeah.
I just need to get the tape.
Right, the tape off. You're saying all this tape off.
Cleaned. I don't know if it needs to be washed before I actually put this on.
Man, I wouldn't go that far, dude. I've got.
Well, I know, but once I put it on, you're not going to be able to get like all of it exactly. Like you're still going to have that crack of white.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay, like try to clean it up as best possible, whatever, and then that.
But I'm going to clean it up as best
Right,
I can.
and
The thing is like I need to get that off as carefully as possible because I don't want to mess the paint up with the rubber wheel, but I have to get that tape off.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's going to look like that.
Right,
So,
right. It's gonna this is gonna be exposed. You're saying, yeah, I understand. Okay, that's a.
And then I need to cut
issue.
out here.
Right, you got to cut these notches. Okay,
Sorry.
all right, that's where we're
I'm
at.
trying to get this piece of it perfect.
Yeah, got you. Okay, so we came to the conclusion it's not going to be done in time for tomorrow's show. There's just too much that needs to be done in order to make this. Well, this is a big custom job, so let me show you real quick. All right, so Henry's going to take his time cleaning all this stuff up, right? He wants to clean this up like perfectly, so then that way he can double-sided tape it nicely and everything. Then he's going to take his time cutting the holes in here and everything. Then he's got to see if these supports can go back on. If not, then we'll just leave them off. So that's another factor in there of why it would take a little bit longer and stuff. Then obviously the taillight's got to go in and everything, blah, 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 and then you got to assemble the wing and then put the wing on, and then the diffuser's got to go back on. So, I mean, think about this. I've just been talking right now for the last, 40 seconds or whatever. Imagine how long this is going to take, and, I mean, we're about to close up shop, so there's no way. So, Monday, this will all be taken care of. It is what it is. That I can't have it at the show tomorrow, but I film the shows anyways. I don't ever film my car in the show. I'm more focused on everybody who's rolling through. So I'm still going to go to the show. I'm going to have a great time and I'll film everybody. And then I've still got another show later that I just found out about that I can show off the vehicle at and stuff. So I'm not as bummed as I would have been back in the day. Now, I've got enough stuff that keeps me entertained that, I love my friends here. They do such a above and beyond job for me every time. So, I feel so bad for giving Henry this headache, but, he's going to work through it and everything. So thanks, man. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, just got the car back from GTP's. You guys have no idea what kind of nightmare this is. I'm gonna get into the nightmare. But first, let me show you the finished product. This thing looks epic, but trust me, it came with a big headache. All right, so I present to you the C7 Carbon Legacy wing. This thing is awesome. It is massive, by the way. It flows so nicely with the vehicle. Look at that thing. That's so crazy. And it comes off nicely. It's not past the fenders, but it's almost right there, which is fantastic. The carbon is stunning, by the way. It's amazing. Look at that. All right, so my favorite part is the fact that this thing sits higher than the ZR1 wing. So it's the actual ZR1 GM mounting hardware and everything, but that's the C7 carbon wing, and so the wing itself is designed to sit higher than the ZR1 wing, which I love that because it sits right at the roof line. The ZR1 wing sits just slightly lower, so you could get aftermarket extensions created for the uprights. Or actually, you could just get extended uprights for that matter, aftermarket, from an aftermarket company. And you can do that to the ZR1 wing. However, I don't need to do that. I can keep those uprights, and it's so nice. Look at that. And obviously it's completely adjustable too. Obviously you can tilt it down, tilt it up, you know, but we set it where it is right now, and I love how it looks. So, but yeah, so this is a better angle of the carbon fiber pattern. You can see that with the sun gleaming down on it beautifully, right? Like that is just so nice. And then this is the GM, this is actual GM, so that's the carbon flash color, same as right here, so that's perfectly matched. And then the uprights, that's what's awesome about the uprights. Since the uprights are GM, they're also carbon flash, so everything just flows beautifully together. But yeah, look at that. It's awesome. Let's get a closer look. Just the bottom of the wing is just so nice. Yeah. So just nicely painted and everything. And then this part, so different brake light as well. And it's nice that it's naturally smoked. So since it's naturally smoked, it blends in perfectly, right? But it's also like the clear, you know, it's not red. And so then that way it blends in. See? So that's really nice. Let's go around up front and so you can see what it looks like all the way from like a front shot. So there you go. Pretty cool, huh? Like, I am in love with that. And I love the fact that the center raises, because the hood raises just like it. So it flows beautifully. You know, so trust me, like this is going to come together even more, because I've got some other stuff that I just ordered that's going to change this vehicle up. And so trust me, it's all going to flow together even better. But this thing, oh man, I'm in love. I am absolutely in love. I was not expecting it to turn out this good. So check that out. Do a view from far away, right? So there you go. So this is just at eye level, right? And so then drop it down. That's awesome. Look at that thing. It looks so good on the vehicle. A straight up track monster that never sees track, sadly, but whatever, okay? It's the thought that counts. Wow. So yeah, it's awesome. It flows so nicely right now, like with the carbon stuff that I'm saying that's on the vehicle currently, right? Because the vehicle's primarily like two colors right now. It's the Long Beach red, and then it's the carbon flash, and the carbon flash blends in with the carbon fiber itself, so that it's nice. So I've got the carbon fiber obviously in the front, and then now the roof, and now it flows all the way to the back, and then I'll cover the other part. So I just mentioned there was something else I ordered, so that's going to be a different video. But right now I'm gonna tell you that another video is going to be uploaded of a different part that I'm about to talk about, and then I'll upload that video right after this one. So yeah, you're gonna see. It sounds all confusing right now, but trust me, all these videos in order will make sense. You guys just saw the tuning video and stuff, so the tuning video led to this one, and then this one's gonna lead to the next video. So just okay. So now that I'm super excited with the aero and everything of the vehicle, all right. It was a nightmare. It was such a nightmare for my poor friends at GTPs. Okay, I take everything to GTPs, obviously, and I'm like, hey guys, direct bolt on, let's get it done, you know, blah, blah. It's never bolt on. It's never ever bolt on. And so C7 Carbon needs to hear this too, because this will help them as well. So the C7 Carbon wing, perfection, awesome, beautifully made and everything. However, it comes packaged with the GM ZR1 hardware. The GM ZR1 hardware was the issue, and so C7 can't do anything. C7 Carbon can't do anything about that. That's on GM. So what did we? Sorry, my shoulder was getting a little tired. Okay, let's wiggle that out a little bit. You know. Okay, I haven't even gone to the gym in like 2 days. That's embarrassing. Okay, so it's chassis mounted, right? So the bracket itself fully aligned and everything. Okay, that was already flattened. So where's the issue? The issue I'm saying is, oh, let me flip it around. All right, so the wing, when initially installed, and the reason why, like, this is why I was back at GTPs and stuff, because it was significantly low. It was slanted down towards the driver's side, and it was off by a good amount, and it had nothing to do with the way we were installing it at GTPs. This was a problem with GM hardware. So obviously you guys can't see it now, but in the previous segments you already saw it bolted through the bumper, obviously, right? And so it had like it was like almost like a U big bracket, and so that was level. That was all level. The problem was, okay, let me see. Okay, these I guess base pads, you would say, right? They were off, and so this one sat higher than this one right here. And so, if you guys can hear me, so yeah, so the passenger side was off from the driver's side, and so the problem is that we can either fix that by maybe like shaving one down, or putting spacers on the other side and leveling it out, like slight spacers, like so there's 6 millimeter spacers, right? So because it's a 6 millimeter bolt, but then they're 1 millimeter in thickness, you know, and so that way we can at least just level it out. So even though you'd be like, so 1 millimeter difference, that you could really tell that. Well, it's like exponential, obviously. So just that 1 millimeter difference was really creating a big difference the further out you got when you were looking at the wing and stuff. And so you could tell one winglet was closer to the tail light than the other winglet was closer to the tail light on the other side. And so yeah, like I had dropped it off, and so then they leveled this side out, right? So they put the spacer right there and stuff, and so now it leveled out the wing beautifully. So now that's perfect. So that's the issue with the GM hardware. Someone who orders this wing might not have my same problem, right? Like the batch might be off or whatever, so they might not even have any issues with the base pad, but unfortunately I had that problem. So that was something we had to address. Also, by the way, now that we're talking about everything and stuff, I don't know if I mentioned this in the previous segment. I guess I haven't gone back and I haven't stitched this video together yet, but if I haven't mentioned it, the ZR1 and Z06 are completely different in the rear. Just so you know, I haven't heard anything from GM about that. They said the vehicle is different from the driver doors to the front. Okay, I get that, right? Different fenders, different bumper and all that, blah, blah, probably different mounting hardware clips and stuff, blah, blah. But the rear looked identical, right? And then I didn't see any articles or anything that says like, oh, they're different and whatnot. I'm sorry, I need to go to the gym. So there was no way we were gonna know these things until everything was mounted, or at least until we were attempting to mount it. And so when we started mounting the GM hardware in the back, there's no holes. We had to custom drill the holes through the frame. What else? Oh, all those antennas, the antennas in the back, they had to be moved. They had to be relocated and stuff like that. We had to extend the wiring. What else? And I think that was it. Yeah, I think so. So yeah, that was it. Other than the issue with the base pads and stuff, I mean, that was it. Oh no, that's not it. Okay, so the what do you call this? The trunk lid, spoiler, trunk lid, winglet, not winglet, but the spoiler, the smaller spoiler. You guys know what I'm talking about. You see this right here. It didn't line up really well with the bumper. They had to custom like fit it. So that was another thing. It didn't, I mean, you would say the rear end looks identical to the ZR1, right? But it didn't, they had to customize it in order for it to flow nicely along the bumper. I know they had to shave tabs off because obviously since it's not the ZR1 bumper per se, it doesn't have the pre-cut holes in it. So they had to shave tabs off. I think the tabs were like all along. They were like all along the bottom right here, you know. And so then that way they could sit it flush, and they could put double-sided tape and everything. So that's another issue to keep in mind. But yeah, it was, this was not an easy task. This was not an easy task. I'm so fortunate that I have such great friends who look out for me. It just kept going back and forth between Henry and Darren, both of them trying to solve each problem that was coming their way, right? Like they would fix one thing and then something else would arise, you know, and then they would custom fab up something. And so that means a lot to me. I mean, they obviously don't give up on my car, and at least they don't show how annoyed they are with my vehicle. You know, they always keep a smile on their face when they're talking to me. They're like, "Oh no, dude, you're good." And I'm like, "Dude, it's all right. I know how much of a pain this was. I'm sorry that you had to spend so many hours on this." But yeah, with that being said, I mean, shout out to GTPs in general. I love you guys. You guys are family to me. You guys have always treated me number one, you know, like when there's an issue with the vehicle and stuff like that. And I get it, like you guys have other customers and stuff, you know, but anytime an issue arises, you guys put me down as a priority, and you guys knock it out, as opposed to being like, "Oh, we can fit you in next week" and stuff. And so that means the world to me. You guys have always been there for me, so thank you so much. Yeah, all right, well, that's the wing. That's how awesome it looks, and that's how much of a pain it was to mount it. So just know, if you're gonna buy this wing, it looks epic. So go ahead and pick one up from C7 Carbon. Just hope that the GM hardware doesn't give you the same issue it gave me, at least with the base pads. You are going to obviously have the same issue if you do not have the ZR1, because you're gonna have to do all that custom work underneath that bumper. And then there are parts that aren't going to be able to go back on the bumper. I might as well be more transparent, and also let you know that a lot of like the material and stuff like that, that's for like if you get in an accident, right? Like if you get in an accident or whatever and someone smashes into the back of you, you've got like cushions and stuff like that behind your bumper, right? Well, that stuff might not be able to go back on. So just keep that in mind. A lot of the extra padding and everything that you might have around the vehicle and stuff, when you do custom work like this and stuff, I mean, if it wasn't designed for the vehicle, you're gonna have to do what you have to do to make it fit. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, so it's a headache. It's a headache. This wing's a headache. It's totally worth it. It is totally worth it. It's really expensive, but just know that it's not. You can't just have this here at your house unless you are like a master like mechanic and stuff. You know, you're gonna probably pay a pretty penny for a shop to custom mount this wing. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, C7 Carbon, a shout out to you guys as well. You guys saved me. By the way, I didn't even mention this. I'm so glad I'm ending the video like this. Okay, so I had a car show that I had to go to, and so it was November 5th, right? And I didn't even end up taking the car because we were doing so much stuff to it. But the fact that C7 Carbon, I reached out to C7 Carbon, and I was like, "Hey, you guys, we have a week left and stuff. Do you think you could ship it out before the car show?" And they were like, okay, so that's next Saturday. They were like, "Okay, we could probably overnight it. And we just don't like to overnight it because it can have, like, you know, people can damage it and stuff like that. And then, you know, when they're rushing it and stuff," I was like, "Yeah, that's true. I mean, you know, like somebody at UPS or something, blah, blah." Well, anyways, they got it to me in 3 days, and I had like 6 days before the show, you know, so I was so nervous. But it meant a lot to me that they shipped it out immediately and they got me the product and stuff. They really listened to me. I didn't know if they really cared or not, but they did. And so for that matter, thank you so much, you guys. You guys are awesome. They're all the way in California. They're in, I think, San Diego. Yeah, I think San Diego. And yeah, they got the product to me. It came beautifully packaged. It was secure and everything. And so, yeah, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for you doing that for me and stuff. And look, I mean, it looks fantastic and everything, right? So I'm so happy to be able to get your name out there like this. So yeah, so C7 Carbon wing on the Z06 ZR1 mounting hardware. Just good luck with that. So just remembered another issue with the wing, and it's a GM issue. So okay, the GM, you know, ZR1 trunk lid spoiler, whatever. Okay, well, I already talked about that, right? But I didn't mention the third brake light, the issue with it. Obviously it looks fantastic and stuff, but that third brake light is not gonna pair up to your Z06. It was a pain. You had to order the connector for the ZR1? Was it the connector for the... Yeah, because it doesn't come with a connector. Yeah, so it didn't come at all with any connector. We checked the boxes and everything like that. So it's assumed that you're going to put this on a ZR1. Even though it'll, you know, like it's advertised that it's going to fit the Grand Sport, the Z06, the ZR1. But it's assumed, I guess, that you'll have all the connections and stuff just like the ZR1, you know? And so that's something I want to bring up to C7 Carbon's attention as well. So now they're aware that the Z06, and for that matter, probably the Grand Sport and every other model, it's not going to have the same connections back here. So yeah, we had to order the connector, and we overnighted it, so that helped. But I mean, any of you guys, if you guys are gonna try to wire this up and stuff, it's not gonna work with the Z06 connections. It's not gonna pair up, so just keep that in mind. So you'll have to order that up too. So see what I'm saying? Like all the GM hardware and stuff, it might be a different story if this is going on the ZR1. Maybe everything mates up perfectly and stuff, and then it's just, you know, plug and play almost. But the fact that we did this on a Z06, it just came out totally different. It was like a nightmare for the GM hardware stuff. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention as well. So if you're going to do this on a Z06 or a Grand Sport, anything other than the ZR1, you're going to encounter these problems. So just know that a lot of customization is going to have to be done for that. Now I understand why a lot of aftermarket companies come out with their own hardware and their own mounting brackets and all that, because obviously they can tailor it to the other models. But I wanted the authentic stuff, so I was like, oh, well, obviously if it's GM, then of course it's gonna bolt right on. Well, I was wrong. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But yeah, so putting the finishing touches on the wing, just buffing it out a little bit more, putting my rubbing compounds on it, putting my wax and stuff. You guys know how OCD I am. I just want even extra layers of protection on this thing, so that way it lasts me as long as possible and stuff. It's flawless and everything now. So I couldn't be happier. Like I've got it in the garage and everything. It's gonna get washed. It's fantastic. So yeah, like I said, so C7 Carbon, the wing, it came beautifully. So thank you so much. You guys need to check out that wing. Go to c7carbon.com and check out the Legacy wing. They made it for the C6, C7, and C8. So now you guys obviously know it works for the C7. Just, you know, got to play around with the GM hardware and stuff like that. But the wing, perfect. So, all right, with that being said, I'm going to end that video finally. So if you like the video, go ahead and click that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll be uploading a video within probably another 48 hours. So, all right, thanks a lot, guys. Miguel over at C7 Carbon, special thank you to you, man. Like, thanks for listening to me and really getting my request down of shipping that thing. I mean, you guys, for it to arrive from California to Virginia in 3 days, that means you guys put a rush on it. So thank you so much. I really appreciate that. C7 Carbon, best customer service ever. You guys are awesome and stuff like that. Can't wait for you to come out with other products. Just one last tidbit and I'm done with the video. Okay, so I was really worried that the carbon fiber weave wasn't gonna flow. So the hood is obviously, it's like I said, it's flowing this way, right? And then the roof flowing this way, so it's all matching up. And then I just noticed the wing, same thing, flows. Let me flip this around. Flows the exact same way. See the pattern? See? So flows, same pattern. Same pattern. So that is so awesome. Because otherwise I've seen videos where the weave goes the opposite way and then all of a sudden it looks kind of funky. Just a great surprise. I was literally putting the final coating of wax on the wing and I noticed that the weave was flowing perfectly, and I was like, oh my gosh, because if it's a mass-produced item, I mean, you get what you get, right? You can't, just don't complain. But if it's custom made, a one-off, then that's when you kind of can be like, hey, could I maybe have it going this way or whatever, blah, blah, blah. So that's awesome. I lucked out. Best way to end the day, best way to end the video. So yeah, I'll see you guys soon. You guys are gonna probably really enjoy the video for this weekend as well, since that, I think it's gonna be a really good turnout at the car show. So, all right, see you guys.